What a way to start the early AM than looking at my pretty face. I'm your host Jason, and today we have the most amazing show ever. No, not really. Good morning, Butter.
Good morning, Jason. Good morning, Sri Lanka. Well, Jason, that's actually a very, I wouldn't say unusual, because this is the usual opening line of yours, right? About staring at your...
No, because you know why I said that? Because usually you come here all gloomy. You bring me down, man. You kill my vibe.
Really?
No, I'm joking.
In the morning?
No, of course not. I love spending my mornings here at the MTV studio.
Mutual feeling, man. Mutual feeling. And I'm sure that you at home would be feeling the same, because we bring you the best indeed of everything and anything. And
yeah, plus they get to see me on TV. So
yeah, right. Right, reinforcing the point once again. Well, talking about that, Jason, we need to shift a little bit of gears, because something is coming up in the weekend, right?
Yes, dude.
Yeah,
this is something that's
been out there.
Exactly. No, this is something that's passed around throughout the years in Sri Lanka. It's kind of Sri Lankan tradition for every Sri Lankan young lad, even if you're not part of the school of the Royal Komian.
And even if you're not a cricket fan.
Even if you're not a cricket fan, you have to go to those matches. You know why? Do you know why you have to go about it?
Because of the girls. That's what you would say. I could actually feel it right now that you're thinking about it.
No, of course not. My girlfriend's watching. But no, I would go there for the food, because they have the most amazing food, like parathas. Like, it's like a mixture of anything you want, like hot dogs.
What's your most favorite?
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs?
Yeah.
Do you know that they're not really health oriented, right? It's not the best food to eat.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I know. I don't know whether it's a myth or not, but that's what
golly, I didn't know that. Thank you, Captain Know-It-All.
Although it's very delicious, it is not the best of food, according to me. But I think we do have an expert who could actually teach us the both, you know, what is really good and what is not. And, you know, you at home could actually learn a thing or two. Jason, over to you.
Well, that opening sketch was obviously poorly planned from both of us, but I'd like to introduce our next guest, who is a health coach, and she's here in Sri Lanka at the moment. We have Manu De Silva. Good morning to you, and welcome to Good Morning Sri Lanka. Woo.
Thank you. Good morning, Jason, and good morning, Banu.
Good morning. And welcome to Sri Lanka.
Yeah, welcome back to Sri Lanka, actually, since you are Sri Lankan. But our studio audience is half asleep, so I don't know why they're not cheering. Wake up. But no, all right, so Manu, it's such a pleasure to have you here on the show. Now, you are a health coach. Now, tell me exactly what a health coach does.
Okay, health coach. I'm sure you may have heard the phrase a life coach in other parts of the world.
Yes.
Yes. So health coach is exactly the same, a life coach, where my job would be to educate and raise awareness within people about being healthy, fit, and be happy.
Right.
So it's not just food. We are looking at what are the healthy foods to eat, but also how do we become physically fit, and then find the mental peace and spirituality that's needed for every being to be happy.
So it's like a chain of steps that you individually concentrate on, is it?
Yeah, that's perfectly right, Banu. It is what it is. Just make sure that it's like being part of like a AA group, basically. There's steps to follow to get to the other end of this journey. And we need to make sure that we are healthy and fit in this journey.
Interesting. Wow. Being that's a really good comparison, being part of a AA group. Hi, my name's Jason, and I eat unhealthy food.
My last hot dog was 1 year ago at Royal Komian.
Exactly. Okay, so food, now, there's a lot of, here in Sri Lanka especially, a lot of the younger generation today is eating unhealthy food. Like, example, me. Well, I'm not really that young. But no, of course, how do we put a stop to this? Like, if I was a parent and I said, hey, I'd like to get my kid to start eating healthy, how would I do this?
I think we have to start at a very young age. That's number one. Because I work with some parents that have very young children, and I ask them to look at the lunchbox. and what you give them for their morning snack and lunch, and most of the time it would be the sausages, the Nutella, and French fries. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to use brand names, but like the chocolate spreads, the peanut butters, all those things. So basically from a very young age, if you start getting them to have healthy options, I think especially in Sri Lanka, if you ask parents, they'll say that they put sugar in a toddler's milk. Really? And a toddler would not know the difference between any tastes, salt, sweet, or anything. But as a parent...
Are you sure about it?
Yes.
Because I've seen babies tasting lemons and the face goes like that.
They look at their face, but that doesn't mean, the thing is that you wouldn't give a baby pure lemon to drink. But milk any of the baby food like you would prepare at home, parent would taste it, a mother would taste it and say, we need to add a little bit salt to this, because we are testing it with our taste buds and we are used to the salt. Same with the milk, they would always add the sugar. So from a very young age we get a child's taste buds used to the extra salt, the extra sugars, and then we use food as comfort foods. From a very young age, you take your child to a doctor, a dentist, they come back home crying. What do? Here's a piece of chocolate.
Or lollipop.
Stop crying. A lollipop. So something like that. So we get them on a very bad start from a young age. And I've heard lots of parents saying, oh no, but they won't eat it. It doesn't matter what I give. And I say well, wait for them to be hungry. And any child, if they're really hungry, and it's just a battle of wills.
Right. So wait, are you saying that food is supposed to be something that you don't necessarily have to eat unless you are actually hungry?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we've all been raised wrong.
And the thing is, I do believe that there should be meal times. Okay, and if you plan it in such a way, and if you don't give, whether it's kids or adults, food in between, or especially like high carb, high sugar foods in between, they would eat their proper meal. Okay, but as parents, I think we are so busy, we just want to make sure that the kids are not bugging us at different times, so they're crying, it's easy to give them something to eat, and so this trend continues.
So Banu, you just mentioned the fact that if you're not hungry, not to eat, right? If I got it right. So in the morning especially, I personally am not hungry at all. But my parents have forced from day one to eat and eat and eat in the morning especially, or else I would get gastritis, in short. And I have strict time as well, between 7 or 9 for example, to have my breakfast and a large portion of rice perhaps to eat and fill my stomach with. Do you agree or not? If not, why?
Okay, I'll take a step back, because I may have misled you by saying if you're not hungry, don't eat. However, it's something that you can train your brain, because I do believe that breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
True.
Breakfast is, as the age-old saying goes, eat like a king for breakfast, eat like a prince for lunch, and a pauper for dinner. So we need to go back to that, and I do believe that if you eat within 45 minutes to an hour of waking up, you have a really good chance of getting your metabolism up and running. And so yes, breakfast is a very, very important meal.
So even if you're not hungry in the morning, you should eat.
Eat, but not the way we do. Not a plate of rice, not roti, not string hoppers, all those things. If all what you can handle is one boiled egg with some fruit, go for it. Some yogurt with some fruit, go for it. But just give your stomach something healthy, a little bit of protein, a little bit of carbohydrates, and a little bit of all the other nutrients, so that you won't get your gastrics, because the stomach is ready with all the...
And you're training yourself, I guess, for the long run, and you'll feel hungry in the long term.
Exactly. And a bit of news, it takes 21 days for the brain to accept something as a new habit. So do it for 21 days.
I've heard of that. 3 weeks sharp.
Yes, 3 weeks.
Anything actually, not just food.
Anything.
No.
Jason, it's true.
True.
If you're lazy to get up in the morning and do a jog, 21 days straight, you jog and it becomes a habit.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I kiss a girl for 21 days,
Oh no. Oh no.
okay.
I thought that
Totally
you
off.
just said that you have a girlfriend watching this segment, so
Exactly.
Of course I
Where
am
are we going?
joking. Of course I am. All right. So unfortunately, when I look at us Sri Lankan men, and this is just breaking news. It's unfortunate. Sri Lankan men have pot bellies.
Sri Lankan women have pot bellies too.
That as well. I try to ignore that part, but men. How would we now? Since like we were speaking about how kids, if you were a child, it's best that you were raised in this way. But if we were already like grown-ups right now, how would we cut down on eating rice for like the morning or rice in the afternoon or even at night? People tend to eat a lot of rice.
Yes.
And how will we stop that?
So I always say crowd out. What I mean by crowd out is eat lots of healthy things
Right.
so that you don't have space in the stomach for all that rice. So if you take your plate, my basic guidelines is, and this would not work for everyone, but my basic guideline is split the plate into 1/3,
Okay.
1/3 of rice, 1/3 of veggies, and 1/3 of a protein, be
Okay.
it chicken, fish, whatever that you fancy.
And that's a general guideline.
That's the general
but it differs
guideline.
from person to person, yeah?
It differs from person to person, but it's still, that is the guideline where you can tweak it a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm talking, this is when I'm working with Sri Lankans, and this is I'm talking lunch,
Okay.
Yeah.
not the other 2 meals.
Right.
So crowd it out. If you're hungry, eat more vegetables. Eat a little bit more protein. So because there's only so much you can handle in your stomach.
That's right.
But what we've done is, and go back to that 21 days. And so after a while, you won't be able to. And I've worked with so many clients, and they tell me, Manu, I can't eat the kind of like the quantities that I ate before, and everyone is surprised.
Right.
And I'm full by eating that little bit now. So it's just retraining.
Oh, right.
Constant training.
Speaking of which, I'd like to get into diets. But before we do that,
Yeah.
we'll go into a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with more of Manu De Silva and her health stuff, all that.